Welcome to Garden Valley Church Podcasts. We are so looking forward to having you join us today.
Welcome to Wow, Look at Us Now podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Onslager.
And I'm Michael Onslager.
Aloha. Como estás? What's a French one? What's that one? No, that's okay. I'm going to mess French. It up. Wow, this is really lively today. Thanks for being here today on my podcast. Today we're going to do a Q&A of all the social media questions we've received and hopefully some today, because it says the chat is waiting for new messages. But, what do you want me to ask them?
Yeah, you can ask a couple and then I'll ask.
Do you want any last words before we start this? Since it's our last one. It's bittersweet. It's like, wow, now we don't have to be here every Wednesday.
It's been real.
It's been real.
It's been real.
It's actually been really fun.
It has been really fun. I don't watch our videos, but I have fun recording them and I have fun hanging out up here.
Well, now you're just making us look bad. I don't watch our videos because it's not that good.
No, it's not even that. I just have a thing about watching my own stuff.
Like, you're going to say something about you drinking that soda right now?
No.
Oh, okay. So, I'll ask the first question. I could go through all these, but I should probably stay in order because I feel like...
We'll swap back and forth.
Oh man, I should have went over these before. I can't even think of answers right now. How do you get to know someone?
Just instantly. Just like by...
Oh, you do?
Not being aggressive, but you're just like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Mike. My name's Mike. Da-da-da-da-da.
So you're going to say putting yourself out there, though.
Yeah, sure.
So putting yourself out there, being intentional, because one of our episodes is talking about intentionality, but being intentional.
That's exactly, babe.
Wow, that was a really good answer. I'm really proud of you. Wow. What's your biggest regret? Where's your phone, by the way, with your questions on it? Because I didn't know this was your TED Talk today.
It is. You didn't know that?
Oh my gosh.
You didn't get the memo? You should have known.
You're going to have to talk louder because I feel like I can't hear you and you're next to me.
They can. Everybody can hear me all the time. You can hear it in the podcast.
Okay. So what's your biggest regret?
I don't know. There's a lot of things in my life where I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. But
like
at the same time...
asking me to marry you sooner?
No, but my thing is a lot of the things that I've been through or that I've done have helped make me who I am today. So it's hard to say. Probably not chasing what I wanted a long time ago.
Chasing what you wanted.
Like what I truly wanted. Like out of a spouse, out of a career, out of like setting myself up earlier ahead of time. Like wishing I was a little bit more established in other areas before getting to be where I am now. Like just because it would be nice to have a little extra of this and a little extra of that, a little extra experience, a little extra money, a little extra knowledge,
Yeah.
I think that would have been nice. But at the same time, you don't always know what you want until you've been through a lot of crap. So that's what I'm saying.
Preach.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to be like, well, what's your biggest regret? Well,
I'm like, well, my answer is easy. I have no regrets.
No regrets.
Not even one letter. Not even one letter.
Really?
Yeah. Everything that I've been through made me who I am today.
Yeah, and then we'll be going home like a week from now and you'll be like, oh, I wish I would have never done that.
Well, I say that in the moment, but that doesn't mean I actually think that. Well, I mean, okay, I do think that, but then when I know, like, of how far I came, I never would have learned what I would have learned if I didn't go through what I'm going through. Yeah. You gotta go through to grow through. I don't know, I just made that one up. That was kind of good, though.
Okay. What is something you fear?
Something I fear. Sharks. Is it like something
It just
legit?
says, what is something you fear? Like what's a good fear of yours? Other than losing
Like
your
personal?
child.
Yeah, I don't
I would say
think
that's
about
your
that.
that's your biggest one.
Yeah, that's
because
probably
we
my
we
biggest
even
one.
start getting to talk about anything like that. And you're like, I'll freaking kill someone. I'll kill him. I'm like, okay, like I get it, you'll kill someone, but like
Well, you don't
other
say
than
that.
that,
No, I will. I never said that.
yeah, other than that,
I never said I was
what's
gonna
your
kill
what's your
someone.
biggest fear?
Yeah, probably losing my child.
No, other than that.
Sharks.
Okay. No, other than that.
Okay, I just want to enjoy the water, you know? I just want to
Yeah.
go snorkeling without
Yeah.
worrying about
No,
sharks.
I get that.
Like, well, actually, I didn't think about sharks one time when we were in Hanauma Bay in Hawaii. That was actually such a great experience if I could breathe, but yeah. How many kids do you
No,
want?
it's my turn. You asked who
No.
I get to.
No.
You did. Yeah.
Why don't you want to answer
Yeah, see,
it?
you're funny. You think you can take mine? Okay.
No, it's...
How many kids? This is somebody
Okay.
asked this about us. How many kids do you guys want? So we can answer together on 3. 1.
No.
2. Yeah. Yeah.
How many kids? It's because you're nervous about what I'm going to say because we go back and forth so many times.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Okay, probably... I'd say I'm content with what I have right now.
Yeah.
With Brax. Like, I don't know if I physically can't have any more kids because I got a surgery done.
You got fixed.
So, got fixed. So if I decide to have a baby, I mean, it would legit have to be God. It'd be a miracle. Like, there's literally, like, basically a 0% chance for me to have a kid. So, if it happens, just know it's God.
Okay, but
Look,
there's
it's
adoption.
number 33 right now.
There's adoption.
you.
There's all this stuff.
I know. Okay, so then I would probably say 2, and I'm not gonna be specific because I feel like that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
But I would say if I was to adopt, I would want another boy and maybe a girl.
I'd want 2 to 3. It's like the perfect 2 to 3. Total.
More kids?
No,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
was like-
total.
I'm like, you're on your own, buddy.
No, total.
Braxton's
At
good
the
kid,
most.
and that's
That's what I'm saying.
hard
2?
enough.
Maybe 3 at the most. Okay. Do you believe in heaven and hell? I'm just gonna say yes, and we're just gonna leave it at that because this is what this whole podcast has been about.
No, we never talked about
It's
hell.
about our relationship with God. There's a heaven and there's a hell, people. It says it in the Bible. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's about as. That's about as.
Weeping and
You'll be
okay,
thrown
can
in
I
the
just
pit
say,
with the weeping and
can
gnashing
I
of teeth.
literally just say that I do not
Gnashing.
like the word gnashing of teeth.
That's what I think about.
Ew. Every
Gnashing.
time someone says or it says that in the Bible, I instantly want to be like, nope, not doing it now. Don't say gnashing of teeth. Like, my teeth hurt now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily what it means, but it's like a gory movie being like gnashing of teeth, you know, like being.
You should ask the next question.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there is heaven and hell. Sorry, I was just reading the next question. That's funny. Okay, Michael, do you feel pressure to show more skin with how the trends of clothing are these days?
Absolutely. Do you know how many times I see crop tops and be like, that's what I want to wear? I want to wear crop tops, and I want it to be socially acceptable. Just
Well,
kidding. I would never.
It's 2022,
I would never
so
be able
welcome
to.
to
I
the
wouldn't be
everything's
able to.
acceptable these days. But do I feel pressure to show more skin with how the
Absolutely
trends
not.
of clothes are these days?
Absolutely not. You
No,
don't,
I
you
don't.
don't feel pressure.
I definitely, which reminds me, I probably should pull my shirt up. But no, I feel like I kind of always been pretty like modest because modest is hottest. Oh, but I feel like I don't have to have this pressure of what other people think, especially the older I get. But like maybe in like high school and stuff, I still didn't feel so much like I just wasn't comfortable with it. And then maybe if it was a little bit risky and that's not even what girls wear these days, I feel like it was disrespectful to myself. And like I got guys with my body anyways. I didn't. No, that's not what I'm saying like right now. But I'm saying like I feel like that's like what they. That sounded actually really bad now that I like hear, but what I'm saying is like how I did that before, so
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. That's not what I was meaning.
Guys with my body all the time.
No, I wasn't meaning that. Meaning
Me
like,
too.
I didn't ever feel like that's what I need to do to get guys, is what I'm saying. So there's some girls that believe that they should put a wear less, and, you know, do all the things to do that. I truly don't, even when I was like fit and stuff, and when I was like looking dang good, I didn't feel like I actually had to do it. And especially like now, like being in a relationship and like having a relationship with God, I felt like that my worth comes from God. My identity comes from God. So I feel like that you actually like me more as well. Not that I was changing because of you, but like if you, it's like
It's hot to
respectful.
me.
Like I want to be respected, so I don't want guys to look at me like that. I want to be respected, and I think that you,
I think
as an example, it's hot.
It's hot.
That you can still dress pretty and you can still do things, but you don't
show a
have
bunch of
to.
skin to
Yeah, you don't have to
feel
do that.
like to make you feel better, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I'm not bashing that about other people. That's my preference. That's what I like.
Well, I think it's attractive because, you know what, my personality, I rather have that shine than my body, because my body's definitely not something that I can shine it. But we'll go ahead and say, you know, God made me who I am. What?
We got a question.
Oh, that's a good one. Are you afraid to make a mistake as a Christian?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
All the time.
as a mistake as a Christian, so I would say, yeah, probably. I used to be more so like that because I was more in religion, I think.
I still struggle with it though, even though I know
yeah.
I still in my mind have to be like, Michael, is this relationship or is this religion?
Yeah.
And what would God say about it? No? Okay. Then let's move forward, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it's that first initial reaction.
I think that as humans, I know that we're going to make mistakes. It doesn't give me an excuse to do what I want, I guess, if that's what you want to say. That's not like giving me permission to be like, oh, I'm going to do whatever. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but to know that you're not going to be perfect is easier when grace comes through. But I know that like my relationship with God like has grown so much of like him loving me, because it was really hard to receive love, that when it actually, you know, came to, I have to like really make myself know that like God's not standing there pointing a finger, but he also like has these suggestions in the Bible of what to follow, because it's going to help protect you. So making a mistake, I mean, I know that you're going to do, but I think I've gotten better about it, saying like, you know, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to hurt others, not on purpose. It kind of is what it is. You can, depending on what kind of mistake it is. I mean, you definitely should repent, but I fear God more, I think. I think I am more scared of the consequences that comes with it and my relationship with God. Like I fear God of like what it's a really good step, I think, of like I don't want to like disappoint God, even though he's like he loves you more than everything, but you still make choices based on that. And yeah, like he cries with you, he does all this stuff with you, but yeah, that was a good question though.
Do you ever think you would get exactly what you wanted in a husband or wife?
Heck no. Like my whole life I told myself, I always thought that I had major like high standards, even though you like oh, I always thought I had high standards, like so high, because I've never seen I haven't seen too many men that had all the qualities. So I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna have to pick which like a couple of qualities, and I'm gonna stick with that, because I never thought I was truly gonna get it. But I do remember this one time, it was like when I had my other position at the same job I'm at now. My coworker that shared an office with me, and she's a little dull, but she always would say, like, I would talk about it, like, because I'm like, I'm never gonna find anyone that doesn't like chew, drink, smoke, party, you know, all the things, like truly loves God, like they ain't gonna like me. They ain't gonna see me. They're gonna be like, oh, something's off about that girl or something. Like, I always thought really bad about myself. So I was like, I am never gonna get something like a guy that's also attractive, that has all these characteristics of men that I wanted. But but then she was always in the back corner, and she's like, yes, you will, Rochelle. And I'm like, no, I won't. But then, like, it kind of comforted me in that moment, even though I was, like, a little bit bitter about it. It kind of, like, stuck with me, and I was, like, still having this hope of, like, maybe one day. Like, that would be amazing if God, like, gave me what I wanted. And he did, boo-boo. Hey, you didn't answer that. It says wife, too. He's like, maybe I don't want to answer that. He's like, I was completely unexpected. He's like, God gave me a totally different girl than I thought I would get.
Yeah,
which is true though with you.
That's why I'm like
the quiet, shy one.
But the thing is like I didn't go into it. So this is my experience.
You had no standards.
I had the baseline standards.
That makes me feel great. Thanks.
No, I had the baseline standards of, this is what I need. Not what I want. This is what I need. I need her to love Jesus. I need her to actually love me and fight for me. Like, those are my main ones. But I went into feeling like I had this standard. I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this. And I was wrong so many times.
Like, it really wasn't.
And so I just got to the point where I'm like, God, this is what I need. I don't care about anything else.
I was like, Lord, please give me black babies. And I'm like, white man. Well, we'll adopt, I guess, but yeah.
Anyways, I just got to the point where I was like, this is what I need. I'm sick and tired of just going after what I want or what I think I would want.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this is what I need. If it's coming from you, because he hasn't steered me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if it's coming from you, I know I'm either going to come to love it or I'm just gonna already love it. Like, that's like, it's gonna be something I didn't even expect to love or to want, you know. So yeah, I went into it just open minded, like, this is the standard that I need, and it's just gonna go from there. I knew like I was gonna fall in love with whoever God intended me to be with, if that makes sense. So.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get more into that later. What's the hardest thing about being a police officer so far?
So much. There's so much law involved.
Well,
like,
that's literally your job.
Law. Yeah, but
enforcement.
Like, no, it's not just about.
I know.
But like, you have to know those laws, and you have to be able to remember a lot of them. You have to be able to lean on them.
How you walk, how you talk.
And like whatever flashlight I put, like how I walk up to a car. What hand I have the flashlight in, like literally how I say something specifically, like down to
gotta watch yourself.
A couple words. Like,
it's
one of those things, like, you know, in the back of your head, it's like, okay, like, this is going to be difficult, and you already know, but you don't know how or the severity or like what, you know, it all entails until you're thrown into it, you know?
Yeah.
I would say one of the other hardest things is, I know a lot of people have this thinking that it's like when you're a cop, you get to like bend or break the rules, or you get to, you know, it's more rights for you. And in reality, it's, in a lot of ways, it's less rights. Like, if I have someone yelling and screaming and cussing at me, I have to still treat them with the utmost respect. And then, like, use of force. Like,
well, it depends what agency you work for.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about that.
With like use of force policy. If I'm just a regular person, like in my home, protecting myself or whatever, and then somebody's like trying to kill me, and I meet them with the same amount of force, if not more, you know, and go to kill them or whatever, or subdue them, it's like, okay, that makes sense. That's normal. But like, as a police officer, if they could punch me in the face, and I go to retaliate, like to subdue them, and they go, no, I give up. I'm done. I literally have to then treat them like they never even punched me in the face. Like, and your body goes into this fight or flight. And so you're like, your adrenaline's rushing, your all your senses are heightened. Yeah. And then you're like, you have to instantly be able to shut that off and treat them with the utmost respect, you know, while.
Okay, don't give people ideas of what to do. Yeah. What can and can be done. That's a little bit sketch.
Yeah. So it's.
Anyways,
yeah. But I love it. I do love it so far. Well, something that I'm nice. Like super excited.
Lucky. How do you maintain, we'll do this again. How do you maintain boundaries with your best friends of the same sex and keep your marriage a priority in the midst? Oh, like, so basically balancing friends and friends and marriage.
Yeah.
You can answer that?
How bad do you want your marriage to work?
Ooh, that's good. How do you maintain boundaries with your best friends?
Yeah. How bad do you want your marriage to work?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I feel
like the people who truly are your friends would understand
when you marry when you marry your best friend, you want to spend time with them though anyways. Like even if Rochelle and I are fighting, we still want to be in the same room. Like there's times where we need our space or whatever, but there's times where it's like, or even if we're not doing anything fun or we're just like, I don't want to do anything, we still want to be in the same room. Even if she's reading a book and I'm watching TV, or I'm playing on my phone and she's watching TV, or whatever the case may be, like we still want to be like in the same room, talk, show each other things. But when it comes to your friends, like if your friends, like one of my best friends, him and his wife are kind of the same way. Actually, two of my best friends, like they're both the same way. They like to spend time with their family. They like to be with their wives. So we carve out time for each other because we want to see each other. We're still friends, and you need that friend time. You need that guy time. You need that girl time. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you want your friendship to flourish more than your marriage, then you're gonna, whether you realize it or not, you're gonna set boundaries towards that relationship. You know?
That's actually a good. But I'm thinking about, like, how do you maintain boundaries with your best friends? I mean, it's like it could be a mini answer kind of question too, because
it's dependent on what your situation is.
Yeah.
If your situation
if they don't understand it though, if they're not married, say they're a best friend that's not married, which I actually have friends, but they're really understanding. But if I had someone that wasn't, I would have to explain to them, being like, hey, we can set up a time once every 2 weeks, or whatever your schedule allows. We can, like, I would schedule things ahead of time and saying, I'll carve this time out for you. But I mean, what's a priority? Like,
so my friend was married before I was, and I would tell him, I'd be like, hey, you want to go do this? And I would have to make sure I told him, like, it can't be like, or he told me it can't be last minute stuff. Like, I would have to plan ahead. And this is when I was single. Like, I would have to plan ahead with him. Like, hey, I'm not busy this day. Are you busy? No, cool. Let's kick it. Sweet.
Yeah.
You know, with my other friends or family or whatever, it was that were single or didn't have that kind of schedule. It was like, hey, I'm free right now. You want to go do something? Yeah, sure. Let's go. And it's one of those things now, like being married, and with him being married as well, it's like, okay, if we're going to do something, we need to make sure we plan it ahead of time. That way it's not cutting into our wives' time, our family's time. So it really is just a matter of circumstances, is like how that friendship is, how taxing, how, you know, non-taxing that friendship is. If you're deciding to give more time to them than you are the family, like it really just depends. And then those boundaries that have to be set, when it says, it asks, how do you maintain your boundaries? Well, we decide what our boundaries are and we stick to them.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, I mean, if there's a situation where it's like, hey, are you okay if we...
Communication, too, with each other.
It's like, hey, is there a situation like, hey, can we do this this week instead of this week? Yeah, of course. Cool.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to ask my wife, hey, can we cancel this if I've already canceled it 2 or 3 times? Or I know it's very important, or, you know, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
It just depends on the severity of the situation at hand, and it depends on how badly you want to support your marriage versus your friendships.
Yeah.
Because you're going to feed one more than the other, and you get to choose.
Yeah.
So,
how has God helped your marriage?
I don't think I would have a marriage without God.
You wouldn't have, because I would have went after you back. Well, I mean, I would have.
This one saying though is like vice versa. Like I wouldn't, like everything, beginning, middle, end, all of it's God. And if I'm not saying if we stay together, but like staying together through is only going to be because of God.
Yeah. How God's helped our marriage? I think it literally changed the entire dynamic of between healthiness and unhealthy.
Yeah.
I don't think that I really could have a truly healthy marriage unless I had God. Because God's like, what? He's my counselor too. I mean, yes, I definitely have a counselor. Because
and by healthy, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. It's we get pissed at each other. We have our problems.
Well, yeah.
And we deal with those problems. That's healthy. Like it.
Well, yeah, but it's.
I don't want people thinking
but no,
that.
dealing with it in a healthy way
And moving forward, not staying in the same place.
Yeah, and just like actually trying to put effort.
Yeah.
And to change things, but I think it like completely, it set a foundation from us from the very beginning to what set us up for success. Yeah, we've only been married a year and however a few months, something like that. But I know that we wouldn't be here today doing what we're doing if it was not for God.
Yeah.
Like, I just think
there's too many.
I wish I had so much more time to like explain that. Like from the very beginning, it was a God thing. Like I straight up wouldn't even went into this. So how do you handle conflict when you're about to be in a public setting? Do you shelf it or take time to resolve things?
If we're about to be in a public setting, we generally shelf it. Most of the time.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, I guess.
But it's never like...
It depends what the situation is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if we have time to, like, sit in the car or try to talk something out or communicate it, then we will. Like, I don't feel like that we ever... We're definitely not the drama type couple. We're like, let's just have fun. Can we just stop? Like, I mean, but if we have a conflict... I wouldn't. I don't think it depends what the situation is. Maybe if it was a setting and there was a problem or a part where I can be like, hey, can we talk about something later? But we usually don't do that as much. It's like we'll bring it up after the fact because we don't also want to ruin our time, or unless it's a really pressing issue. I feel like mostly we would still just shelf it because it's not an appropriate time to bring something up.
Yeah. And it would just make things worse because I would get frustrated, you would get frustrated, like if we're just laying all this stuff out. Like, I'm not that person.
Yeah, he's got to process it for a bit too.
Yeah. So a lot of the times,
definitely try to shelf it. It depends on the situation. I mean, if I just found out like you maybe like just cheat on me, I don't know. I'm probably like a pro like this now. Yeah, I could probably hold it in for the whole day.
That's completely different.
I know, but I was just saying, like, if I just found out like maybe like devastating news, we might be not going to any public setting. We're going to be skipping out. Yeah. I don't know, though, maybe. Who knows?
And it's never, anytime, like, there's anything, like, if we're about to go into a public setting, it's just because either you or myself have an attitude, and that's it. And there's no really, like, conflict. It's just, I'm grumpy, you're grumpy.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's about it, generally. Anytime there's, like, an actual conflict, we're just at home normally, and we're talking about it. We don't even bring anything up until we get home, generally.
Yeah. And it's more, I feel like it's more of miscommunication is our issues.
Yeah.
Really. Like, I don't feel like, okay, there's other things we'll talk about because it's, I would say this is going to answer it.
What's the hardest thing about marriage and how do you work on it?
Hardest thing about marriage. I don't know. Hardest thing? Obviously, communication is the first thing, but I don't know. I feel like that's a cliche answer, and I didn't want to say communication, but that's definitely like something. The hardest thing? What's yours? I don't know. You answer so I can.
The moving forward part.
That's the hardest thing is moving forward after something?
No, like getting to not not going back there. Like moving forward and communicating how to move forward. Like, where do we go from here? Okay, this is
and
what
not
we do.
bringing up past
and
stuff.
not bringing up past stuff in the sense of like something happens, you get frustrated, and then you use an example from the past to be, especially if they haven't done something in like a long time or whatever the case may be, where it's like this or this, or the other hardest thing is not taking things so seriously. Like when someone's like frustrated or they say something and it's just like.
Well, no, that's what I mean though.
Yeah.
Like, I think the communication part is like, if I'm saying something joking, you're like really sensitive. So being like sensitive to your feelings and like not saying it in a certain way, because I feel like sometimes the way I say things, it's just like straightforward. It's not like I'm meaning it necessarily that way, but then you take it that way. Yeah. And then I'm like,
but it's because
I heard what you said. Like,
yeah, but it's blah, because blah, blah. The same voice that you use to be straightforward is the same voice that you use when you go to make stabs, Yeah,
but I feel like I don't like intentionally do it though, because I feel like if I was trying to be like evil or something, you would really know, but you still take things like.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like knowing how to communicate. Like that
Yeah, I
that is
know,
the
it's so
hardest thing, is
hard.
knowing how to be like, because there's times like
As
where
long as
I'll
you-
say something and you'd be like, that was rude, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like that's not what, like that is not what I meant, like that's not how.
Which is true. So like you getting why are you laughing?
Steven's texting me because they're watching the live right now.
Stop reading your text while we're doing this. Steven, quit texting him. If you have a question to ask us, you are welcome to go on Facebook. So I don't know, but the communication, we're gonna repeat that, I guess, again, because
So
as long as you get communication down, like 100%, I feel like that creates 10 times less of problems, because that creates less arguments, that creates less, I mean, you can have disagreements, but like how you go about things, miscommunication is a huge one. So if you can figure out communication, your relationship will get way better, and it's a tough one to handle.
I have to go back on the friend thing.
Are you exposing him
Yeah,
again?
my friend, no, I'm exposing me and him. So my friend's wife said that we're always gay with our phone conversations, and that we're too close, that it's like, anyways. So I guess that's a boundary that you can decide to set or not, but
Oh my
because
god.
we're always talking to each other or texting
you
each
guys
other.
have problems. I legit have had asked Michael about his friend Steven before. I'm like, should I be worried, honestly? Because I never was, but I'm borderline kind of questioning it. Michael's a weirdo. What else? How do you hold each other accountable in your walk with the Lord?
We have check-ins. We talked about this question before, and I really liked it because I never thought about it. But because we never intentionally made sure our walk with the Lord was, we don't, what does it say? We don't really hold each other accountable. Like we never set out to do that ahead of time.
Like having
necessarily.
expectations on someone.
Yeah,
can
like
definitely
it can
ruin
make,
it.
because then it like there was times where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm not hearing, I'm like in a weird season right now with God where I'm trying to hear him, but things are quiet, yada yada. You know, like that would put a lot of pressure on me if you were like, hey, you have to have this, and this, and I'd be like, well, crud, like we're screwed then, you know. But
Crud. That's a good one.
no, we have check-ins. Like we've checked in with each other.
Well, and not even that. I feel like holding each other accountable is serving God together as well. It's like, yes, it's a relationship between us and God, like separately, but when we come together and do it, it like connects us in a way too. So when we do
It's like,
daily
hey, I'm struggling with
devotionals,
this right now.
Bible studies, like we did this, it was like for over a year.
Or we
did,
share
a
what
Bible
we're
study
studying.
with our therapist,
Yeah.
or whatever counselor,
Yeah.
but we did that, like read this book, and then we would meet every single week to talk about it. And actually, like we got to see each other in a different light, like spiritually, because us two coming together and like bringing.
And we wouldn't share it until we got there.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it until we actually got there, and so it was like opening up all kinds of conversations, and I was like, wow, and it made me be like, wow, man, that guy is hot. Just his answers, I'm like, he's so knowledgeable. This wisdom flows out of his mouth.
Well, and when since like we're best friends, we share things that we see or
Finish each other's sandwiches.
Yeah, that we share things that like God said this to me and it's so crazy, yada yada, and I like to share it, and vice versa. She likes to share it, so we automatically kind of like, it's like a check in without you even realizing it. And when you can see God moving in that person's life, it's like there's no reason really to be like.
Yeah.
Now, if we were backsliding or things were going on, like, yeah, we'll ask, hey, is everything okay? Or do I need to pray for you for something? Like, there's that. But aside from that, it's not really like, if you don't.
Ooh, that's actually good too. Yeah. When you made that comment, and like what we do a lot is, if we truly, like, even if it's something difficult to talk about, I feel like that we still like we're very vulnerable with each other, and it's like, maybe it's something embarrassing, whatever, maybe it's not, or maybe it's just a straight up just being like, hey, I need prayer for this. Like, can you join in with me and like pray about this, because maybe I'm having a bad day about this, maybe I'm having, whatever is going on.
Okay, before we do these are good. So
How has God
it says or
helped being a blended family? Oh Lord, I'm still figuring that one out.
that's a work in progress. Like,
how has God helped being in a blended family though? Like, it truly,
There's so
Okay,
much.
this is just saying on the other side too. So like for me, I feel like it helps give grace to not only like Michael and stuff trying to figure out how to be a parent and stuff, but like for my past relationship and trying to co-parent and that kind of stuff. Like I feel like sometimes when they do things that I don't always look, I mean, maybe in the time I'll definitely get fired up. I'll definitely be like, oh man, I am really upset right now. But I take a moment and time out and like really I pray for that person. So it helps bring, it down. It brings it down. But then in the same sentence, it helps me see the sin and not the person. Like take away the person and then you really like see how they're hurting as a person. Like the reason why they reacted this way, the reason why they did what they did is because there's a deeper problem. There's like a lot of hurt. There's a lot of trauma as a child. There's a lot of blah, blah, blah. Like I try to take them away from that. I think that helps in that. But blended family, I mean, that's a whole nother,
I'm still working on that one.
No, you do a great job though.
It's not about
You're
just
literally
about
dad, and like for like just jumping
Right.
into it, right? Like head on, like
yeah, just add water pretty much. Instant dad.
instant grow.
Yeah, but and the only reason why it's still a work in progress, the only reason why I say that is because there's so much history in my background. There's so much history in his background, in Braxton's background, as far as fatherhood goes, and as far as same for me, sonship and fatherhood. So it's good. God is working, and I wouldn't be able to do it the way I have been unless it had been for God. But there's a lot. It's a whole different
Patience.
playing field. It
Like,
really
it's
is.
a lot of patience.
There's a whole different rule book. There's a whole different playing field. It's a completely different beast.
You're in a different like
Yeah.
position as well. So
So-
I feel like being a step parent, because I was a step parent at one point before this, and I feel like that was actually harder than being a parent to your own child, because you're in a different role, you're in a different position. Like I get both sides, but also I think on being on the other side as a blended family of the other family, I think that you need to stay in your lane. I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you stay in your lane, then you, like let them do the job. Like I say let the parent, whoever the biological parent is, even if you raise them till however long, I think let them do it. You obviously conversate with each other. I think that's what helps with boundaries, like in our relationships too. Like when co-parenting between both sides too, like
Yeah.
how we talk things out, let the other side talk things out, and then the parents come together and they can do agreement like that. I think that's like really healthy though.
It just depends.
On the situation though.
It just depends 100%
In our
on the
situation, that works best for us.
Yeah, it just depends on the situation 100%. And involve God in it, because each situation is different, and if you just try to attack it the way you see fit, it's not going to work out. It's not going to yeah.
Sean, this might go over. We're having too much fun. Are you good?
So I like this one. John Carter
do
said,
good
"Has
ones.
spiritual envy ever tried to sneak between?" Absolutely.
You're so jealous of me?
Yes. Yes. When we first got married, like within the first like 4 or 5 months, yeah.
It's because I was on fire and God's just like
God was
download,
just-
download.
Yeah, he was just
Brash.
yeah, he was just speaking so much, and I'm just like, God, I'm like, I've been devoting time to you, like I've been spending time with you,
my
like,
ears open.
and there was just certain things where I was like, like I'm trying to listen, and like it feels like I'm not getting anything, but that's a whole different story. Like there's just hearing God in a different way, and it was all right there. He was speaking.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of like your mom and I were talking about it, or maybe it was your dad and I. People go through these long seasons.
Mm-hmm.
These like people go through hard seasons, and then they have a time where God blesses, right? Or God opens up, or God finally speaks to them, and they have this message, or you can see someone get their mail read in front of all these people, and they're like,
Man, I love
wow, I wish God would speak to me like that. And it's like, you didn't see the 2 years of drought. You weren't there for the 2 years of drought that this person was struggling to even hear a single word from God.
Yeah.
You're just seeing the fruit and the blessings right now. So when you take a step back and you realize like everybody's going to have those seasons, and just because you're going through one right now, doesn't mean that person won't experience that or go through that, because it'll go back and forth for us. And you know what, I thank God that it goes back and forth for us, because those times that I'm having a hard time and I'm weak and God's speaking to you, you're able to lift me up, and vice versa. When you're having a hard time and feel like there's a drought and God's speaking to me, I'm there to lift you up. It's a back and forth. And when you decide to be like, you know what, it isn't about just me, or it isn't just about her, it's about us together, and playing to our strengths and playing to what God is doing in that moment, and being able to go back and forth with each other, and be able to be supportive and celebrate each other's victories, and mourn each other's losses together. It's a whole different.
And I think both of us complement one another too in our personalities, and like God speaks to us sometimes differently though. Like he's speaking to me in numbers right now, but like we both. I feel like he speaks to, I mean, it's a general on how he speaks, but I feel like keeping God in a box on like how he speaks is like where I don't like to go. But because it's opened so much up, like my eyes and my ears, if I am literally just like willing to be aware and listen and look for him in the daily small things, then I think I hear him speak more. It's me being more sensitive, more aware, and then you start making it into habit, and then you start realizing and discerning what his voice is. What is this? I have this one. How do you walk through past sexual hurts, histories in the new relationship or marriage? So how do you walk through the past sexual hurts and histories?
Talk it out.
Yeah, be like very honest with each other, I think. Like from the get-go, like being like, I would even maybe say like this stuff happened to me. I mean, hopefully you have a conversation about that already before you do that.
We definitely have. I think there's things that we've experienced where, you know, I'm not going into details, but even in like the bedroom in the sense of like, hey, this has been done to me, or this has happened and it made me feel terrible, or I really cannot, like, I'll be turned off if we go in this direction kind of thing. Like I can't go in like this direction. And then after you've opened up like that and been vulnerable, then it's on your spouse to take what you said and put it into practice and be like, okay, we're not going to go here. Like there's certain things that I've told you that you've walked with me, and now there's actual healing in that specific area. Like I'm no longer traumatized with by that specific thing. So
because you opened it up or brought it to light and you wanted healing. And I think there could be triggers too as well. That you go through, and there's things that you got to work together. And I think it's because you were a safe person though as well. Like truly being a safe person, you really want that. And if you're going to be married to someone and have sex with them, you want to make sure they're a safe person. If they're not, then like maybe go get counseling and help, because that's really hard, especially if you've been through sexual trauma and past experiences. It's not, I mean, you might not even realize it. Maybe there's things you don't even realize that maybe happened, but there's something that bothers you every time. But then you like look back, because you kind of I made excuses before. I had no idea, like I did, but I kind of shoved it down so deep that I had no idea that I was actually going through like sexual experiences and trauma because of that. And then realizing, oh, that's why certain things triggered me and why, that happened. But yeah, I mean, I think that therapy and counseling is a good start. And Jesus. But like actually trying to get healing for it, like being intentional and getting healing, because it'll just keep going with you until you decide to do the hard work and put the effort in to want to do that, to want to change things. Dang, there's so many good questions.
There's one here. It says, when did you know for sure God was there for you? I'll just do a quick one, like all the time. Like all the freaking time, because it's the little things in life. Anytime I had a worry and I was like, God, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it next month. I don't think I'll be able to go find another place. I don't think I'll be able to. And it's just like time and time and time and time and time again.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that where I'm like, I can lean on God and be like, God, I'm struggling right now because I am nervous and I'm fearful, but I know that you haven't let me down.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Yeah, I agree. I actually think that I have felt God more. I mean, there's been definitely times where it feels like when you're going through it that he's not there and he's left you and whatever, which right now I can tell you that he's never left you or forsaken you, because that's what it says in the Bible.
Yeah.
But and it makes sense now too, because I was thinking about it, but all the hard times, like there's so many times that God has showed up Like literally every single time. Like when I've gone through, like I was thinking I was like literally getting sick. Like I'm going through hell right now. And God, his overflowing amount of love has like covered me. I can't even explain it. Like I just know that he's literally showed up for me in the hardest of times. And then like looking back throughout my life, even from when I was little, like it's so weird. Even though things happened to me, even though whatever, like all the way back, I look back and I'm like, he was literally right there that entire time. And I had no idea. He was there. He was there. Like, oh man, I am like almost want to get a little bit emotional about it because I was just thinking about it the other day. Whew. It really, like, I can't even explain it. How I kind of talked about on one of the last episodes that we did before this about like on the times that I remember like very detrimental to my like pivot points in my life, that it was like my lowest of low just about. And he just was there. Like it's in the last one, so that's like getting more detailed. But man, I just love Jesus.
What was the last word you received from Abba specifically about your spouse?
What's the last word you received from Abba specifically about your spouse? I think the last time that I don't remember what you were going through. And we might have not even been married at the time. No, we were definitely married. It was in the beginning. Whatever, we were going through something. I don't know what it was. But I don't remember if you remember texting me and I was like, you're a warrior. And I don't know what that, do you remember that? It was like a long time ago. And I was like, all I keep hearing over you, it was like you were like in like not a low place, but similar. Like you were going through something and I was like, that guy's a warrior. Like, I don't know why. I don't think I looked it up and seen what it was. Yeah. I'm actually going to look that up right now. So then maybe you can answer the next thing.
So mine it's actually quite recently.
Oh, yeah? Did you tell me about it?
No, not yet. Okay. I've talked to your mom and dad about it, but...
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a blind react,
it's
guys.
Such a bad thing. No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
I would have never thought I would have married someone like you. That's as bold and like pushes me as much, because there's times where I'm definitely pushed, it feels like, to the max as far as like growth and growing, and I wouldn't have the family that I have to this day.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think I would be who I am right now in the past 2 years had it not been for marrying you and being with you. And something that God was showing me is like, because I've talked to God about it. I'm like, God, you work things out and we don't even expect them. We don't even see it coming. We don't even, and so I was talking to him about it. I'm like, as far as my wife goes, like, I would have never thought in a million years, I wouldn't have chose it for myself. Like if, you set me down 5 years ago and being like, who are you going to marry? I wouldn't have chose this. I wouldn't have even thought to have chose this. But when you take a look back 2 years ago, and where I am now, God's like, there's a reason why I put people in your life.
Yeah.
At the times that I put them in your life.
You literally went from boy to straight man.
Not just like looks wise. I'm talking.
Well, no, I'm saying no in all aspects.
Yeah.
Even looks wise. Like you just like, you did a glow up for sure. You're just straight like boof, 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 boof.
But yeah, there's certain things where it's like, because there's days where I'm like, God, I need to figure out how to be a good husband, because right now I don't want to be a good husband. Like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do anything, and there's just certain things where he showed me, he's like, he put you there to push me, because yeah, it sucks sometimes, but sometimes I need that motivation to get to where I'm supposed to be.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Okay, we're almost done. We only have a couple more questions. What's your favorite thing about Rochelle? Caught you on guard.
I hate doing the whole "what's your favorite?" because
I know I can't really.
I am not that person. I can never just be like, I can never be like, oh, that's my favorite, because I'm at different times, different seasons. I like different
times, different seasons.
One of my favorite things is being able, like, how much we laugh. Specifically, how much you can make me laugh.
Because, okay, you guys, this is funny. When Michael, oh, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. When Michael and I first, like, started hanging out as friends and, like, right before we actually ended up getting together, he was like, dude, I didn't know girls could be so funny.
I did say it.
Oh, you did say that. I was like,
said
looked
it.
at him and I was like, what do you even mean? I was like, I know tons of funny girls, like, hilarious. And he's like, nope.
Aside from, like, comedians, like there's a lot of girls that are like
compliment.
other than like comedian actresses or whatever, it's like, okay, yeah, that's obvious, but like as far as like make me belly laugh, because a lot of the stuff that I think is funny or like, it's generally coming out of a lot of dudes' mouths, and so because they're just like, they get my humor, and you just like know how to pinpoint it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, that's my favorite thing to do to you too, is make you laugh. I actually like. Oh, never mind. We'll just go ahead.
What's your favorite thing about Michael? About me?
About Renee?
Michael.
Renee.
So I'm
Okay.
getting. We got to get that figured out for sure.
I feel like we talked about it on one of the episodes.
We did talk about it. She's okay. Quick story. If you guys don't know, she's called me Renee from the beginning. But now I'm like, when people's names are getting called, they're like Renee. I will turn around and look to see who's, and I'll be like. And then I'll be like, and people will look at me like, Renee?
And I'll say Renee in public, and you turn around, and everyone else looks at you like,
It's such a girl's name.
It's because I did call him Renee because I said that everyone's middle name is Renee. And it was funny when I do bring it up to people because they're like, hey, that's my middle name. I'm like, I know, it's everyone's middle name. So I just like, when I didn't know what his middle name was at first, I'm like, what's your middle name? I'm like, oh, it's Renee, huh? And he was like so offended. So now, of course, I call him Renee. Because that's what I do.
Anyways,
okay. But your favorite thing, I don't know.
Not my favorite thing. What's yours?
My favorite thing. My favorite thing is how good you look. I'm just kidding. That's definitely a plus. But let me think. I don't know. I think that you surprise me and like your answers and what you say. Like spiritually too. Why?
It's like I'm expecting something so stupid to come out of your mouth.
That was actually really good.
But you surprised me. You actually do pretty good.
That was actually really good. Okay. But you surprised me. Okay, I could make this really funny right now, but I'm not going to. Oh, that was
Thanks.
good. That was really good. You like caught me off guard on that. You surprised me. But really, like what I'm saying, like when you have like answers, like I think that's what attracted me first to you is like when we would like talk about God and you like, I've been in the game longer, I feel like in different ways, but you're like really like head knowledge and I'm not so much like that. I'm more like street smart. Let's experience. I like that. That's just how I'm made.
But for like so many years, like I've done probably more reading from the time that I was younger. Till now over a lapsed amount of time, but a lot of it was trying, like I was a younger kid, like trying to figure out religion versus relationship.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of times where it was like there was relationship, but a lot of it was just reading and religion just because of how I was raised.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah, but I just like the answers. Like it like will be like, oh my gosh, that gives me like such good insight and like a different perspective. Like
Yeah.
perspective is huge. And so like when you say it, I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about it. And it's like cool to like see how other people think. But it's like also just like just as right as your answer, but it's in a different view. And I'm like, whoa, that's actually really good. And you made me think and you kind of challenged me in that way. And I like that. And I don't know if I've even told you that before, but like that's
never.
like what's drawn me. No, never. You just like to squeeze my butt. They're gonna find out a lot. Do you guys ever fight?
Yes, of course.
Well, no, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't think we've never fought.
We've never fought. We've argued.
We've had disagreements for sure.
I don't think we've ever even.
We've gotten mad at each other.
Yeah, we've never raised our voice. Like I'm just not that person. I will.
Yeah, thank
like, I
God,
hate.
because-
Like the only time I've really raised my voice at someone is it's been in work settings. Like work settings when, especially like
You
when
got
I
to
was
be the head
at-
honcho. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you kind of have to like put it out there as like you like here's their force, you come back with this kind of thing. But it's very rare that that's ever happened. I'm not that person. I'm like, if we're gonna yell, like then let's just stop, take a break, because I hate.
no,
that.
I'll instantly.
It'll get
like,
nowhere.
Yeah, it's no point.
I'll shut down. I'll be like,
But that's just why I'm saying communication has came in so great with us. Like 100%. Like this has helped so much because it's helped us not have as many issues as I think. I mean, we definitely have as issues and like how we communicate, and we still have to, that's a daily figure out type of thing. But like, if once you start learning how each other works and like how you communicate is going to dissolve a lot more, or it gets over a lot faster. And from like what I'm used to, like with very traumatic fights, and that's just how it was. And then going from like this part, I really like not getting yelled at. I really like not like having someone raise their voice. Like you definitely can like have a
short fuse.
Like a short fuse. I mean, but you never like yell at me. It's just more like you just like, yeah, it's like you're snippy. I don't know. Yeah, like, it's a short answer, and you're just like, and I like look at you like, the heck, bro. What's most important to you in your life? This is, I think, are gonna be our last question.
Aside from God.
Yeah, just as what's most important to you in your life. So, answers.
I don't know. I'm not in a state to say right now.
What's most important to you in life? I think that my relationship with God is number one, and then my marriage and my child. Like, I think those are the three things. Like, that's my ministry. That's my being, like, intimate with the Father and with, like, your relationship with God. Like, that, once you have your relationship with God, and that's, I think, feel like that's the only thing you really, really should, like, worry about is, like, first. Because once you have your relationship with God and once you're, like, stewarding that well, all else will be added to you. All else falls into place and where it needs to in other areas of your life. So I think it's between those three. It's, like, all in one, but, like, definitely in my relationship with God because, I mean, also, where are we going to end up in the end?
Well, that's where I'm at. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really have an answer other than God and my family because I've gotten to the point in my life where it's like, I've had all these lofty ideas and these great wants and desires, but I'm so far at the point where it's like, yeah, I know this is what I would like to do. Like even the police thing, like I want to do that, but unless God's backing me and which he is,
he's got your six.
Yeah. He's helping me progress through that. And that's awesome. Yeah. But 10, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, he'd be like, I want you to sell everything you have, pack up and go to Cambodia. I'd be like, okay. Like, I mean, that sucks right now. That's not quite what I wanted to do. But at the same time, like, he's taking care of me this far. Like,
his plans are the best.
He's going to make me so happy and what he has for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to feel so fulfilled doing what he has versus doing what I want. And I know because I've done that for years, trying to do what I want and never feeling fulfilled. And doing what he has for me has fulfilled me so much. So I try not to think of things too much or too important in my life I try not to have, because like, I do have wants and desires, but I'm also like, God, kill it if it's not supposed to be part of me.
Kill it.
Kill that want and that desire in me because I don't want to hold on to that. So
yeah. All right. Do you want to answer the last one? Do you have a testimony?
I'm breathing. I shouldn't be, but that's honestly,
breathing. Yeah, that's true.
I shouldn't be breathing. I should be dead, and I'm not.
Well, long story short, I think the next one that comes out is called Mental Health. So you'll want to go, the one that's airing, not the next one, because this is the last one we're airing. But way before this, the next one right now is going to be Mental Health is what's going to air.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And not only that, I have a family that loves Jesus. It's one of the biggest testimonies you can have.
Okay, on the spot. She's a 10, but it has to be about me.
No.
Yeah,
Nobody understands that trend.
Yes, everyone does. She's a 10, but...
No, I barely know what that trend is because you told me what it is.
Yeah, but you know what it is. Just say
She's
something.
a 10, but she pokes me in my butt.
That actually sounds really wrong. And by the way, what was I gonna say now? Oh, but no, because I do it with his clothes on. I squeeze his butt. Okay, that was a good one though. You do it.
You do it.
Saying where? Okay. I don't actually know. Oh, so you can go on the Garden Valley app.
To find this podcast.
Yeah, to find this podcast. And so I think it's under, you go to the Garden Valley app and it's under special content. Oh, Garden Valley Church. And let me look real quick. It says Garden
Under
Valley.
media.
I know. It's under media and then podcasts. So you'll find Wow, Look at Us Now. And we're there. And that's where you can watch like all the videos. And I mean, this is the last one. So that kind of sucks that I'm just telling you this now.
And then if you have iPhone or Mac or whatever,
I think you can download it anyways.
you can go to the podcast app.
Yeah.
And if you look up Wow, Look at Us Now, we're officially on the podcast.
We're
app.
officially official.
Officially.
Wow, look at us now. We're on the last one.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know honestly how to end this out without like I'm just kidding. But do you want no one was struggling with anything. God, please let people watch this and actually get something out of it, you know? Like, not just take it day by day, you know?
If you guys are seeing this is the biggest thing I think that we decided about this podcast. If you guys are seeing this, the number one reason why we did this is just to get people to understand and realize that to cut through the crap, like we're all human. We all have issues, and you are okay as you are.
Because, you know, you can eventually say, because in the moment where you're at right now, and you're thinking, I have no hope.
Yeah.
And where I'm at is, it's the end, like.
I still get like that. Like, there's times where I'm like, I'm not the husband I should be. I'm not the Christian I should be. All this stuff. And it's like, no, every day you get to come as you are.
Yeah.
At the foot of the cross, have a redo.
But yeah,
and move forward.
Even in your lowest moments, we could have said that many times in our lowest moments, but now it's like literally like, wow, look at us now. Like that's why it was just like a total like redemption of from Jesus. Like he was just like, he got us on lock. So if you are in a hopeless place, no, there is hope. And I mean, you can always reach out to us. I mean, Michael doesn't have Facebook or Instagram or anything, but I do. So, if you're a guy, you're welcome to have Michael's number. If you're a girl, you're not. Just kidding. If you're a girl, no. Okay, well, I guess we won't we have to pray this one out. It's the last one.
And you agreed because you don't do them that you're going to pray the last one out and shock everybody. That's what we talked about.
No.
Sean even said.
No, well, Sean says things, but he's not behind the camera right now. He was on one episode, but... just I can't see him right now like I can. Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
Take it away.
Go ahead, babe.
God, I just ask that whoever's listening to these, even if they made it to the very last one, that you meet them where they're at and you change their lives and that they really get to experience you through these podcasts, that you just wreck them in a good way and help them get to a point where they want to surrender their life to you, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yeah, look at that. That was a good one.
Oh, was it?
It was.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in checking out more of our podcasts as they come available, please download our app in your device's app store or check us out on your podcast platform at Garden Valley Church. We look forward to seeing you next time.